everybody. I hope and pray that you're doing well. Today, as we come to our word from the Word, and today that word is festival. Festival. Now, you think, okay, we've been talking about prayer. How in the world, different events, how are we getting on a festival? Well, it still all goes together. I want us to see this whole week put together. Yesterday, we talked about the completion or the finishing of the temple, and now they're preparing the way for the Lord. They're preparing to basically invite God to come on into his house. And so now it is this great time of celebration. I mean, it's a celebration at the end of their work is completed. But then there's something else that Solomon does here, and we'll talk about it in a moment. But 2 Chronicles chapter 5, just starting in verses 2 and 3, says, Now Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes, the chief fathers of the children of Israel in Jerusalem, that they might bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord up from the city of David, which is Zion. Therefore, all the men of Israel assembled with the king at the feast, which was in the 7th month. They look in some translations, and instead of feast, it'll say at the festival. And that's why I chose that word for today. But this is going to tie into tomorrow too. But as you read in these passages, I pray that you're reading along more than just the verses I'm picking out. But the festival, this celebration that's going on, is because they were going to bring the ark into its permanent residence. And it was going to essentially bring the presence of God to a central place. Now, it's something to look at this and think about on this side of the cross, this side of the empty tomb, this side of Pentecost, that we take for granted the fact that we have the Holy Spirit of God residing in us, that we are the temples of the living God. But for them to know that it was different, that the ark would represent that same thing, that was the temple of God, and that they were excited about the fact that this temple was completed. I mean, you think about it, all the hard work was done. Now all they had to do was just follow through in obedience, because that'll be easy, right? Well, we'll see through this week, though, of celebration and Solomon even trying to get the people's eyes, their eyes turned towards God as his eyes were turned to him at the time. And like all, he falls and makes mistakes, just like we all do. But here it is important for us to notice that when it was finished, that they didn't just stop, that they continued to get to the purpose of it all, right? And the purpose was to bring in the presence of God. The purpose of all this was not just to build this place and spend all this time and money and energy and get all these people working together for a common goal just to get back and sit back and look and say, well, man, this is a pretty building, and be done. But see, isn't that what happens with us so many times? That even we come to church, which is not the temple, okay? That we come to the church building and we may look around, and it's nothing wrong with taking taking wise opportunities to take care of God's house, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to take care of the church. It's nothing wrong with trying to take care, be good stewards of God's money to take care of the church building. But if we just come and do that, and then we're just sitting back so we can enjoy it. I mean, we just did some renovations and things here at church, but if we just sit back and say, oh man, those lights look great, that paint looks great, the carpet looks great, the pews look great, and our hearts are empty, then what have we accomplished? If we haven't done it all with the sole purpose of being, let's bring in the presence of God. Let's invite in the presence of God so that we can worship him in spirit and in truth. And so this festival, this celebration that they're having here in 2 Chronicles is an invitation, a welcome party, if you will, a welcoming party that they're kind of rolling out the red carpet saying, God, you are welcome here. God, your presence is welcome here. But it was a celebration. When's the last time you came to worship? You came to your quiet time. You came to your prayer time, your time of study, personal, in a group, in a church setting, whatever the case may be. When's the last time you came with such great circumstance, right? That pomp and circumstance and celebration, that others took notice and said, what are you so happy about? You said, oh, I'm on the way to church. Oh, I'm on the way to my Bible study. Or, oh, I'm on the way to spend some time with the Lord in prayer. But isn't that how it should be? Shouldn't we be excited about coming into the presence of God? Shouldn't we be excited about inviting in the presence of God? That's really a festival we need to be thinking about. Are we celebrating Him as we ought to? Definitely something to think about today. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.